Well, let's start here. Did David Berkowitz act alone? Yes or no? Your opinion.
I don't know. I can't definitively say whether I lean one way or another.
How do you explain the eyewitness stuff?
I can't.
How do you explain the stuff that he wrote that is obviously pertaining to his neighbor and the...
I can't, which is exactly why this is the tragedy of what Maury Terry did.
Yeah.
Is that this theory that David Berkowitz had accomplices, there's evidence to support it, 100%.
It can't be ruled out.
It 100% can't be ruled out.
Right.
But now that theory is forever going to be associated with Maury Terry and Satanic Panic. So no one's going to take that original theory that has evidence to support it seriously because of the ultimate evil and because of connecting it to this larger satanic goal.
Well, it's going to have to be someone who wants to be a good journalist and get at the truth. It's not going to be law enforcement who wanted it wrapped up in a bow. And it's not going to be, internet trolls that want everything to lead back to Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's got to be somewhere in the beginning. But that's what I'm
saying, which is also why, I brought up I'll Be Gone in the Dark in it, because Michelle McNamara, she was very good at her own personal theories don't matter. What matters is what can be proven.
I'm going to make another reference like I did last week to TWA 800.
Right.
So what Tom Stalcup and Henry Hughes and the folks who were responsible, I'm blanking on one of the other directors' names, but what they presented in their 2013 documentary is that the evidence suggests that a outside force caused the explosion, and they cannot rule out that a missile hit the plane or multiple missiles. But they're not saying this is what happened to the T. They have theories, but they're not coming out and saying it's definitely X, Y, or Z. They're showing this is what the evidence is saying. Yeah. So that's where Maury Terry failed. He would have. Yeah. He had a compelling story on his hands if he just said the evidence cannot rule out that David Berkowitz acted alone, but he just fell down a rabbit hole. He clearly had mental issues or something.
And that really is what this documentary about. First of all, I love this documentary. Something I said a lot about kind of the true crime documentary series that Netflix have been doing a lot of lately. A lot of them are too long. A lot of newer documentary series is just too long. I agree. This is 4 episodes, and it's the perfect length. It's the perfect length. Each kind of episode kind of does its own thing. The first episode is very just about the basic story of David Berkowitz and the killings in the 70s. The second one is there might be more to this than it seems. He may have had accomplices. The third one is when you really get into the Satanic Panic. And then the fourth one is kind of, the crescendo, his interview with Berkowitz, and you realize just he's leading Berkowitz, and Berkowitz kind of is just telling him what he wants to hear.
The second Berkowitz interview is the worst thing I've ever seen.
Right. Yes.
I don't know. I felt like...
Here's what I thought when I was saying this. When you're saying, why would what reason would he have to lie?
You're talking about Berkowitz.
Berkowitz. Look at the Amityville Horror murderer.
Okay.
Years later, in, I forgot what year, the early 2000s, he does an interview where he says, my sister killed some of the people, and then I killed my sister. He said he was responsible for his parents, and then he left while he was gone. His sister murdered his younger children, and then he killed his sister, kind of
his siblings.
Yes. So I don't believe a word that guy says. 100%. Even though
what does that have to do with David Berkowitz?
What I'm saying is that's another case where a killer goes and does an interview where he does an entirely different version of events, while he also really doesn't have a motive, because they're not going to let him out of prison either.
I don't think you could just pick a guy and make it.
No, but I'm saying that there is precedent of like killers changing their story later on.
Yeah, I know.
You know?
Yeah, but there's also zero.
So the idea that Berkowitz may have been lying, like I don't think you can rule out the fact that Berkowitz himself says he has accomplices is enough. It's enough right there just to look into it. Is this guy lying or not?
Well,
but I'm also not putting it past David Berkowitz to just be lying.
Well, obviously you're not going to take his word for it, but you know, I didn't find. I guess there's a certain level of analyzation that has to go into it, where you say, does it look like a lie? Does it smell like a lie?
Right.
And to me, could you know 100%? Of course not. But it's not just you're taking him at his word. You're taking that, and then you're coupling it with the other circumstantial evidence,
right? Which
I think is there.
No, I agree. It's there to at least like this case should have been opened up again. I 100% agree with that.
Law enforcement had every intent on not opening it up because they wanted it wrapped up.